Hello and welcome or welcome back to Trailblazer MTG. My name is Paul, or Prop, and in this video we will have the deck tech for my August Asynchronous League submission. For this league, I have decided to go with Reanimator. So, a couple of reasons for this. One, during last league I suggested there aren't many decks that are made worse by including blue, so I wanted to include blue in a list. I also haven't played a lot of green, so I wanted to add green to the list, which left me, with a few options. Obviously, in the last finals, we had the Absinthe Reanimator, which I have a version of, but it's different, and I don't think I would have gone any different than just copy pasting that list with maybe one or two changes, just pet cards, things like that. And I didn't want to do that, so I went in the other direction, which is I took the deck that lost in the finals, the Sultai control list, and mashed it into my existing Reanimator list, which was also Sultai. So now I have a list which is similar to the Sultai control list, but, worse. But it's Reanimator is an archetype that I very much enjoy. I think it's fun. I think it has some significant vulnerabilities in this current format. But wanted to play green, wanted to play blue, saw a strong deck that I could then tweak and bring in the reanimation package. So for this deck tech, I've actually done something slightly different. Rather than going through by card type, I have used the tag feature in Moxfield to kind of separate the card base outside of lands, because lands are lands, even the ones that have tech or a utility within the deck. I didn't want to split those up and cause any confusion, but kind of split the deck by the roles that the cards primarily playing in the deck. So let's go through that. So the first part is the what I'm calling fill the yard. So these are ways that we can get either just cards in general in like Stitcher's Supplier, with the just mills 3 on enters, mills 3 on death, similar to the Overlord, just mills 4, or some more selective putting cards in the yards. Resentful Revelation, strategic planning that you and Rakshas's Bargain. Look at 3, choose 1 into your hand and the rest in your graveyard. These are a little more, still more random than something like Thirst Identity and Winternight Stories, but they have definitely utility in this deck. And then the more targeted, you have a card in your hand that you want to put in your graveyard. So 3 Steps Ahead, Abandon Enchantment, Charter Course, Collector's Vault, which is a way to do that consistently while also ramping. Thirst, Winternight Stories, the Coil and Catch from Moraine River Regent. That's what this is primarily doing. There are some, obviously, 3 Steps Ahead, Well of the Forgotten, with the Bloom Command have other utility similar to the Regent, but this is what they're primarily in here for, even if they can do other things. The next section is the sort of most important part of Reanimator, which is the targets. Emeritus in this deck can easily be also just cast for 5 mana with 5 or 6 mana available. So, but it is something that we don't mind being in the graveyard to reanimate, because even if we're able to cast it, if it gets killed or removed and then goes to the graveyard and we bring it back, it prepares itself again, so we get another version of recall. Very powerful. We also have Atraxa, Coma, which has Ward 4, Arden, which is able to take creatures out of your opponent's graveyard and turn them into 5/5 flying lifelink haste demons. Armagon is a creature removal. Areni can kind of wrath the board damage-wise. And Valgavoth, which is very difficult to get rid of, and also taxes your opponent's graveyard, or it eats anything that would go to your opponent's graveyard. So these are the most powerful creatures kind of in the format. There's a couple of other arguments for creatures to be added, but this is what I have for my reanimation package. The issue with Reanimator is that there is quite a few wraths and untargeted removal in the format, with, like, as I mentioned, wraths, strategic betrayal, which is an absolute house versus us, and Shieldred's Edict. A lot of times we're resolving one creature at a time, and for Edict effect really can hose you. What we're hoping to be able to do is reanimate more than once. So, looking at our reanimation package, we have a couple of creature-based reanimation options. The Soulstone and Virtue of Persistence are very expensive and kind of only niche reanimation options. But then we also have the classic Zombify. Liliana, she also has the ability to fill the graveyard, but she's primarily in here as a reanimation spell, because mill 2 cards, like Sight Unseen, not the most powerful option for filling the graveyard. We have Return Upon the Tide, which is really good if you foretell it, but 5 mana is also doable, and Cruelty of Gix, which this is the other reanimation option which can't hit your opponent's graveyard. So if they exile my graveyard, but I've managed to kill one of their big creatures, this allows me to just steal a creature from their graveyard and put it into play. Same with Virtue, but again, Virtue is so expensive, unlikely to be able to be guaranteed to be able to cast it during any game. So that's kind of the plan. How do we make sure that we are able to execute the plan? So the first thing is not dying. So, as I mentioned, took a lot of inspiration from Alan and his deck, which is why we have some of the slower sorcery speed or permanent-based removal, Delian Fell, Binding, Awaken the Honored Dead. We're also, because Graveyard Hate is very powerful, and a lot of the Graveyard Hate is enchantment and artifact based, we needed to make sure we were able to hit non-land permanents. So outside of Fatal Push and Bitter Triumph, and then the sort of the wrath effects, all of these hit non-land permanents rather than just creatures, just like a single target. Vicious Rivalry is able to wrath both creatures and artifacts. Fungus can get rid of either. Delian Fell is only creature removal, but also has the card draw on the back end, so useful there. So that's kind of our removal suite. We then also have our tutors. Demonic Cancel, if we fill the graveyard, is very good at, if we have Delirium, it's just a Demonic Tutor. But if not, we can use it to go find Valgaroth with just, on turn 2. Even if we don't have the Delirium online, we have Dina's Guidance, which is an instant speed Entomb or Tutor to Hand, which is great. Well, creature tutor, and similar to Lively Dirge, which is a 3 mana sorcery speed Entomb, and also can get Shieldred back from the graveyard, which is actually not that Shieldred or a reanimation creature back from the graveyard, which can be pretty useful. So then we have the utility slot. So then we have the utility slot. We have in here we have Hand Attack, which is a great way to clear the way or know whether we're able to go all in on our reanimation structure. We have Ghost Vacuum, which can tax opponent's graveyard and also tax our own. If we're able to, if we have one of the reanimation creatures, or even like a Shieldred in the bin, we can use the 6 mana reanimate and put 1/1 versions of some of the more powerful creatures that we have into play. We have really the 2 best card selection spells in the format with Consult and Stock Up. Couple of modal Jawface lands. We have Uro and Oculus, which are useful if you're filling your graveyard and haven't hit the powerful reanimation options that you're looking for. We have Mind Roots, which is a card I'm interested to see how it performs. Because this says target player, yes, you can hit your opponent, but hit your opponent and force them to discard 2 can be useful, but it's not always the best. But this can also target yourself. If you have a land in hand and a reanimation target, you can cast this, it ramps you and puts a reanimation target in the bin to be reanimated, hopefully on the following turn. We also have Oko, Sultai Charm, which fits into both the removal because of the artifact enchantment monocolored creature removal, and also is able to fill the bin with the draw 2 discard. So I put that in utility, but it can fit into a couple of other slots. Couple of other utility creatures. Shieldred, as I mentioned, with the Lively Dirge, can be reanimated with the Dirge, but also just a great way to tax your opponent and sort of preserve your life total while also chipping away at theirs. The Emeritus, which is in the reanimation package section as well. You can multi-tag, so you can put things in 2 tag buckets. And Harvester of Misery. Early game can deal with a small creature, an opponent's utility creature, and then can, for 5 mana or coming back from the graveyard, against some decks is functionally a Wrath. So those are the segments of our deck, and then finally the land package. In terms of the lands, we have Takanuma and Restless Reef are good at putting cards in the graveyard, along with the Surveil lands. We also have Beseiju, which can remove some of those pesky artifacts or enchantments, or even non-basic lands that tax that graveyard. We have a Restless Vinestalk, similar to the Restless Cottage and the Restless Reef. They're just powerful creatures that can, in a situation where no one has anything on the board, just at sorcery speed, you can boot these up and Chrondle in for some damage. Mistrais Village, which is really here to make sure that in a matchup against a control deck with counter spells, we're able to resolve our spells if we need to. And Odawara, because it's a untapped blue source that bounces. So those are so that's really the deck. I think, as I said, I took a very good Sultai control list and made it worse, but also made it a deck that I'm more interested to play. And that hasn't been seen. We've seen 3 Reanimator and we've seen Sultai control, and this is more of the classic Reanimator. There are obviously some options that could be included into this, similar, like the Graveyard Researcher from Strixhaven, which does have Reanimate on it, but I think that honestly in a lot of cases that's a little too many hoops to jump through. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes, and so next week I will be back with round 1 of the league. If you enjoy this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, come join the Discord. Also, if you have any card suggestions, if there's anything you think should or shouldn't be in here, if I find that this Mind Roots is not doing what I want it to, what should I replace it with? But until next time, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.